Two-time Olympic gold medalist Alysa Liu delivered a breathtaking and deeply emotional farewell to the Olympic ice, transforming what could have been a simple exhibition skate into a moment that felt historic, intimate, and profoundly human. As the arena lights softened and the crowd settled into a reverent hush that acknowledged they were witnessing the closing chapter of a remarkable competitive journey. Dressed in a costume that subtly echoed the colors and textures of her earliest junior programs while carrying the elegance of a seasoned champion, Liu stepped onto the rink not with the explosive competitive intensity that had defined her medal-winning performances but with a calm, reflective presence that immediately signaled this routine was about storytelling rather than technical domination. And from her first glide the program unfolded like a living scrapbook, weaving together musical motifs associated with her rise through the sport, her record-breaking national titles, and the Olympic triumphs that cemented her legacy as one of the most influential skaters of her generation. Her edges were deeper than ever, each curve drawn with deliberate patience, and her transitions, once packed tightly with point-maximizing footwork, were allowed to breathe, giving the audience space to absorb the maturity and artistry she had cultivated over years of competition, while the jumps she chose to include were executed with effortless control rather than maximal difficulty, a conscious decision that shifted the focus toward interpretation, musical phrasing, and emotional connection, particularly during a mid-program spiral sequence that drew audible gasps as she extended into a position of pure stillness before accelerating into a luminous flying spin that seemed to suspend time itself. What made the performance extraordinary was not merely its technical cleanliness but the visible narrative arc of an athlete reflecting on her own evolution, from the fearless teenager who burst onto the world stage with audacious quads to the composed champion who now skated with the quiet authority of someone who had already achieved everything the sport could offer. And the choreography underscored this transformation by incorporating gestures that mirrored earlier programs, an opening arms sweep from her junior debut, a brief step pattern reminiscent of her first national title routine, each reimagined with the fluidity and emotional depth of an Olympic veteran. As the music swelled into its final movement, Liu approached the judges' side of the rink not with the competitive focus of a scoring pass but with a deliberate slowing of tempo, allowing the choreography to dissolve into a sequence of simple, almost childlike steps that evoked the joy of skating for its own sake. And in that moment the exhibition transcended performance to become a meditation on why athletes begin their journeys long before medals and records enter the picture, reminding viewers that beneath the layers of training, expectation, and global spotlight lies a love for movement on ice that cannot be quantified. The closing spin, centered precisely at mid-ice, built gradually in speed before resolving into a soft, controlled exit, after which Liu remained motionless for a heartbeat longer than usual, eyes lifted toward the rafters as if absorbing the final echoes of Olympic applause, and when she finally took her bow the ovation was immediate and sustained, a standing tribute that acknowledged not only her gold medals but the cultural and technical impact she had made, inspiring a new wave of skaters with her fearless approach to difficulty and her openness about the mental and emotional dimensions of elite sport. Throughout the arena, fellow competitors watched from the boards with expressions that blended admiration and nostalgia, understanding that they were